Top 10 Amazing and Rare Albino Animals. When you think of albinism, has it ever occurred to you that there could be albino animals out there for every species? If so, that makes two of us. It can be a little surprising to see animals like the tortoise and frog without their dark green color. And if you watch till the end, you'll find out that's the most amazing part of this video. Number 10. Albino alligator. Before we start, you should know that the animals on this list are either naturally white or they're snow white animals as a result of their unusual genes. As for the alligator, it's albino. Instead of having the species' dark gray and green skin, the alligator is white with pale colored eyes and claws. One look at this alligator and you'll be filled with all types of emotions. While the thought of an alligator opening its jaws might frighten you, you wouldn't feel that fear when it comes to Coconut, a name given because of its color. Her smile is heartwarming. She receives a scrub on her body, which she seems to enjoy a lot. That's the spot. There's about 200 albino gators, and Coconut is just one of them. Their color makes them a high risk to predators, as they're not able to camouflage into their surroundings. Don't be fooled though, they're not as weak as you may think. Albino alligators may live longer than other alligators, with the oldest being over 80 years old. It just takes a nice habitat and a climate that's not too harsh on their skin. Number 9. Albino gorilla. Does this movie ring a bell? It's a family movie released in 2013 based on a true story featuring a white gorilla named Snowflake. In this live-action / computer-animated adventure film, Snowflake is the only white gorilla in the world. She takes all the attention and becomes the zoo's main attraction. This doesn't sit well with the other gorillas, and they hate her. The story becomes interesting when Snowflake decides to change her color. From there, I need not say more. Go watch if you haven't. In the real world, Snowflake is the world's only known albino gorilla that lived in the Barcelona Zoo until their last breath in 2003. Snowflake was born in the wild with albinism, lacking the color pigment in their skin and hair. Because of the unique color, the villagers in Equatorial Guinea captured them in 1966 and took them to the Barcelona Zoo, where they became a zoo celebrity. Number 8. Arctic fox. Little pig, let me in. No, not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. We all adored this story when we were young, didn't we? But the cunning fox we envision isn't the same fox we're going to talk about today. The Arctic fox is just a fox that's highly adapted to extreme winter. It's the only animal in this list with a natural white color. As you might guess from its name, it's native to the Arctic region of the Northern Hemisphere. Its coat is strikingly thick and fluffy, creating camouflage in the snow. But that's not the only color of this animal. The color changes depending on the time of year. During summer, the fox's coat becomes grayish-brown and changes back to white during the winter. Even their foot pads are covered with fur. Isn't it amazing how nature made sure that it survived the conditions? If Elsa of Frozen had a pet like other fairy tale princesses, it definitely would have been the white fox. The only thing she'd have to worry about is if it woke up one day and made her his breakfast. Number 7. Albino rabbit. It may seem hard to distinguish an albino rabbit, since most rabbits are white in general, but it's actually not. Albino rabbits' fur is as white as snow, and their eyes are red because of a lack of melanin. For an animal that has been a victim of animal experiments, we can term it the toughest animal in the world. They're one of the most tested upon animals on Earth. That's why there's many campaigns for people to keep these rabbits as pets. They make amazing pets as they're playful, friendly, and love to be around people. What more could a pet keeper ask for? Number 6. White turtle. Remember when we said some snow white animals are a result of their unusual genes? Well, apart from albinism, there's leucism. Leucism is a condition where animals have reduced pigmentation. You can say it's a genetic defect closer to albinism, but somehow better. As for this turtle, it has black eyes and a small amount of pigment on their skin. It was found floating in the ocean in Male Atoll, not being able to dive down. Cloud, the name of the sea turtle, was found to have a deformed carapace. The reason why she couldn't dive in was because of the noticeable lump on her shell, which had affected the anatomy of her lungs. In sea turtles, the lungs attach to the top of the shell. On further tests and x-rays, they found a condition called scoliosis, where the spine was abnormally curved. Being a heuristic turtle, Cloud was born with multiple malformations and genetic defects. Number 5. White eagle. The most interesting thing about life is that every day we get to discover something intriguing about Mother Nature. It's like we never know her at all. And when we think we've just figured her out, boom, we got a surprise. Recently, an exceptionally rare bird of prey was spotted at a wildlife refuge in Oklahoma. Without its iconic coloration, not having the dark brown body and stark white head, it was a challenge to distinguish it. The bald eagle is a leucistic bird, which is very rare when it comes to birds. It only occurs in about 1 in every million birds. That's why it made quite a buzz when bird enthusiasts all over in Oklahoma found it. For the lucky ones who managed to see the bird before it flew away, they all exclaimed how amazingly beautiful it was. Leucistic birds have a low chance of survival on their own because of weakened wings and susceptibility to sunburn. We hope it survives wherever it's going. Number 4. White kangaroo. When you think of a kangaroo, you probably envision one with brownish gray fur. That's what the Animal Adventure Park workers expected when they pulled a baby kangaroo out of its mother's pouch. Alas, the kangaroo wasn't like its mother at all. It was all white fur with black eyes, indicating that it was leucistic. White kangaroos are rare sights in nature, so as expected, they got all kinds of people in the park wanting to see the white kangaroo. The joey is the first and only leucistic red kangaroo in the US, proving again how rare it is. It had been born 5 months before its revelation, but because kangaroos are born the size of a human thumbnail, the joey was left to grow in its mother's 5-star hotel room 5 months before being removed for medical inspection. The joey's lucky to have been born in a nice environment that would take care of him in the best way they can. Otherwise, as we've mentioned before, such animals have a short lifespan out in the wild. Number 3. White lion. Not a normal house cat, or even a lion for that matter. The white lion can't be called rare, as they were there during the early 1900s. They lived in the Timbavati region of South Africa. African cultures regarded them as divine animals that represent pride and leadership, and thus were well protected. They became known to the English people in 1977 after the book The White Lions of Timbavati was published. Since then, they became famous and are now going extinct. It should be known that white lions are not albinos. They're leucistic and vary from blonde to nearly pure white. These, fortunately, are one type of animal that don't have disadvantages due to their coloration. I mean, they're the king of the jungle after all. They don't need a camouflage from predators, as they are the predators. Pretty lucky, huh? Although, their one true predator are us humans. For a long time, poachers have been hunting down the white lions for canned hunt sales. Trophy hunting. The heartbreaking truth is shown to the world through films like The White Lion and Mia and the White Lion. After nearly being hunted to extinction, they're now protected by the White Lion Global White Lion Protection Trust. And trophy hunting was banned. For an animal that was highly respected, they have gone through a lot. Number 2, albino zebra. Nature must have forgotten to give this zebra visible black stripes. The striking golden zebras were each spotted in Kenya and Tanzania respectively. These two reserves are divided by the border of the two countries. When the Serengeti's park employee first noticed the zebra, he thought it was just a zebra that had rolled over in the dirt. He didn't take his eyes off it until it waded into the water and assumed the dirt didn't come off. That's when he realized the zebra didn't have its distinctive black and white stripes. Pale zebras are rarely found, and thus heavily protected. Number 1, white peacock. We're gonna end our list with the majestic white peacock. The one who came up with the saying, "Your flaws are what makes you perfect," probably met this white peacock. I mean, isn't it just beautiful just the way it is? Peacocks are naturally born to stand out. Although with their genetic albinism, it doesn't keep them from showing off their beauty. Look at the way it turns around for everyone to see. It's like, yeah, I know I'm pretty, keep admiring me. If it knew its value, it'd probably finish with, "That'll be $50 please," and then go collecting the money from the captivated audience. If you didn't know, the peacocks with feathers like this are male, and they fluff them out to attract female peacocks. Unknown to them, it's not their only species that they attract. Humans will always be a peacock's captivated audience. See you next time.